In this episode, I take out the Rolls, the Maserati, the Aston, and Harry's R8 all at the same time, and almost die.
Holy!
That's f***ing awesome. So, we are taking out the cars, all of them for the day. We got Hunter here in the Mozzie. There you go, he's figuring out how to do the top right now. I'm gonna take the Rolls. We got Nick in the Aston, and of course Harrison in the R8. So we're gonna go for a drive, keep our distance from everybody else and each other for that matter, which is why it makes sense for us to sanitize the cars and then have each person to their own car instead of driving together. So we felt this was more responsible, and also where we could go to an area where we're not bothering anybody else and not near anybody else. So that's the plan for today. We'll see how it goes. So we are about to get on the highway now. Got a caravan of the cars behind me, because I know a place that's pretty wide open where we won't be troubling anybody. Keeping Bojangles in business. So as you can hear there, while we're in the Bojangles drive-up line, I'm sure not a lot of cars look like this going to Bojangles, but while we're there, you can hear that we have a walkie-talkie kind of sound thing. So that's what we use to communicate during the drive. We've used this during rallies and things like that in the past. It's just a lot easier so that there's a hands-free mechanism that we don't have to be touching a phone or something like that. And also where we're not on a single call and joining everybody at the same time. So while we sat and enjoyed much of our Bojangles order, I got a chance to admire the cars that rarely, if ever, in fact, I'm not sure I can remember when I've ever done this, get to be out at the same time. Obviously, I can't drive all three at once, but it's a lot of fun, not only driving my own cars, but also watching them and somebody else enjoying them as they drive. Now, no one thinks about a Maserati Gran Turismo, even an MC, as a true purebred sports car. They're more of a grand touring car, which is exactly what you see we're doing with it right now, and it's great for that. However, I do kind of wonder, when I'm driving my Aston Martin Rapide as well, how they stack up against each other, because the Aston Martin Rapide, also a four-door touring sedan, is actually about the same weight as the Maserati MC. Now, the Aston Martin being a V12 and the Maserati being a tuned V8, we thought it would be an interesting comparison with a rolling start. Now, this was just one of the runs that you can see Nick in the Aston hits the brakes earlier, while Hunter kind of got a little bit of a late jump. We did this a few times, and while you can't really tell, the Maserati just edges out the Aston for the most part. The 0 to 60 times are about the same when they're claimed, but in real life, that's really what matters. And they're both quick, they're both practical, and I love them for that.
How many shots do you have of my car rolling past yours?
Well, we definitely had a lot of rolling shots, thanks Harrison, of these cars going past mine. I was the one filming in the Rolls, but also these cars are really more designed as sports cars. And going through the mountains, the Rolls is very comfortable, but isn't really designed for grand touring, spirited driving as some of these cars are. But it was still fun. We eventually got to our destination, but it was really about the journey and the drive around it than the actual destination. I can't even see Nick right now.
I can barely see up into your car.
I know. And mine's lowered too. So after a quick gas stop, we headed back towards home and took the scenic route, of course, enjoying the roads around the area that we went. This also affords us the opportunity to enjoy what makes the R8 special, for example, what makes the Rapide especially fun as a sedan, and then what makes the Maserati MC convertible such an enjoyable car to drive. And surprisingly, no one wanted to switch cars when came that opportunity. But on the way back, I'm glad we didn't, because none of us know what would have happened differently in this next clip. Now, this is my dash cam footage on the way back on the highway. You'll see in a second exactly what I'm referring to, but thankfully no one was hurt. You guys okay? I nearly got killed by that piece of wood.
Holy now everybody did like a full racing move, guys. What the hell? Good thing, Harry, you on your toes, bro. Holy shit. I didn't even see it. I looked up and I saw him coming. You just missed it. I just missed it after you.
If you missed it, I'll play it again at half speed. And here's what it looked like from the inside. And here's the view from Harrison's dash cam and his R8. Let's see it again in half speed, but this time I'll add a stopwatch. Now the whole thing is over in less than 2 seconds, but let me explain why this is important. First, let's break it down. I become aware that there's a flying piece of debris, which is wood, by the way, at about 0.56 on the stopwatch. That's the timer when the reaction time begins. Now, as we move forward, I'll stop it right here at 0.88. That's when I begin to make the maneuver to go right to avoid the piece of debris. I'll spare you the back and forth. I stopped it here because here's where I begin, as you'll see now, to move right. Now, at 147, I would have been hit by it, and at 1.76, the whole thing is over, it's passed me by. So what that means is that in order to avoid disaster, I had a 0.32 second reaction time. That's just over 1/3 of a second, or 32 hundredths of a second. And that's me going 79 miles per hour. If I were going any faster, it would require a faster reaction time. And just in case you're wondering, F1 drivers on average have a 0.2 second reaction time. So that's not even fast compared to real drivers. So why is any of this important? Because you could lose your life doing it. I do rallies and have a lot of fun with my friends inside of cars. But most of us, if not all of us, are highly experienced driving our cars and doing many of the maneuvers that we do. I'm not saying you have to go to driving school and racing school just to be able to get on the road. What I am saying is that I know people have the tendency to have fun in their cars. I get it. I do it too. But I am also reminding you that you have to be careful and you have to be vigilant and always be watching. That said, I hope you're having fun. Enjoy life. Be happy. And finally, be safe. Thanks for watching.